Weekday on The Social. Alexis Ohanian serves up advice for Stephen A. Smith. Stay in your lane. Should we only give advice on things we have experience with? And women are sharing their positive experiences with dating younger men. Could this be the key to romantic success? Then they tackled the odds and scored big. Canada's rugby stars Tyson Bookboom and Taylor Perry tell us about their incredible World Cup run and what's in store for them next. Plus, Optometrist approved beauty tips. How to keep your eyes bright and healthy without giving up your liner or lash lifts. It all starts now on The Social.
Wednesday and welcome to The Social. Hey, we'd like to welcome to the show for the first time TV anchor and host Matt Skube. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I know you come by way of Ottawa. Is this correct?
Yeah, spent almost 12 years in Ottawa doing mostly local news, a little bit of everything, a radio show, sports. So have continued that here in Toronto, which I am having a blast doing so
Fantastic.
far.
A Matt of all trades. Yeah. That is you. Well, let's kick off the show, everybody, because Reddit co-founder Alex Ohanian, he is not going to let it slide if you weigh in on his marriage to Serena Williams, because sports commentator Stephen A. Smith, he made this mistake months ago, saying he would have divorced the tennis legend over her appearance in Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance. And Ohanian, well, he actually brought it up again recently with him live on the air. Look at what went down.
I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
well, you know what? Listen, I did it. People, you know, headlines are headlines.
you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No,
she hasn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies. And the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
So I generally try to stay in my lane.
Oh my gosh, not only did he put Stephen A. Smith in his place about marriage, also the flex of, I'm a billionaire. Did you catch that? Anyway, should you only be giving advice on things that you have experience with? Matt, what do you think?
Talk about the background on this, I think, first of all. Stephen A. Smith is ESPN's highest paid personality. He makes almost $40 million a year, reportedly, right? Yeah. He is paid to make headlines. He is paid to make statements like this. And so I don't think it's surprising to anybody that follows sports or otherwise. However, if you make a comment about my wife in a public setting like that, you better believe that I am never, ever going to forget it. And if I have an opportunity where I can make it land like he did, then 100% I'm taking my shot and making it fit. Because at least and he did it, I think, in the proper way. Stephen A. Smith has never been married. He's very closed off about his public life, unless he is absolutely pressed about something. But you're gonna stand on a platform like that and insult and make, and try to give someone else advice on a relationship like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. He doesn't like his daughters being talked about either. He's only recently come out into the public eye with them. And so I think this is, I can't blame him at all. Really, at all, for coming out and saying
Alexis is good with this.
I think it's totally good to do.
You know who's also really good? Mrs. Scooby. She had a husband who's like, not on my watch. And you'd figure after the Oscars debacle in 2022, when Chris Rock decided to talk about someone's wife, we all know how that went down with the slap heard around the world, that we learned that we should not talk about people's spouses on television. Stephen A. Smith, did you miss that? Did you forget about that one? But you make a really good point. He has a lot of money and he gets paid to talk about sports.
Right.
But I also think I understand why he felt so emboldened to give his 2 cents on this. This man has never played professional sports a day in his life. He actually is not that quite physically fit, but he's making a lot of money giving his opinion about, you know, sports people and what they do on and off the field. So maybe that's why he felt so emboldened to be like, yeah, and you know what? Since I'm not married, let me tell you what you should do with your marriage. You should leave your wife over some 2-second performance during a halftime Super Bowl, which he really missed the whole mark, which is like Serena was invited to perform because she's also from Compton, California, where Kendrick Lamar, who was the headliner, is also from. That's why she was invited, not because she has something for Drake, which is what Stephen A. Smith was trying to insinuate. But there's a bigger issue with Stephen that's going on right now that I feel like needs to be addressed. He keeps on attacking black women, successful black women who have not said one thing about him. It started off with Serena. He most recently made a comment about this politician in the US called Jasmine Crockett, and he's been called out by the community going, why are you using your huge platform to call out these black women when they said nothing? You know what, I think he's projecting. You know, sometimes when people give you advice, unsolicited advice, it's more about what's going on with them than it actually is the advice that they're giving to people. So Stephen, my question is, who hurt you? What's going on here?
Yeah,
I mean, this obviously he was doing it for shock value. He was doing it because it's part of his brand. He got what he was coming to him by the response that was given by Ohanian. So it's hard to relate to exactly this situation because I don't think this was advice. He wasn't giving advice. He was giving a take. But if we're asking about like whether I think you should give advice, I think only if you are asked for advice. That is the only time you should give advice. And I feel like, even as somebody who, like, I've been in a relationship for 25 years, I am a relationship, like, I've studied a lot, I'm considered an expert in some realms, I still would not give unsolicited advice to somebody unless they were super close and I felt like they were walking into, like, maybe, like, a really bad situation. But I will say this comes up in my relationship a lot, and I'm not sure if women can relate to this, because Jason, it's like he was born, he loves to give advice on everything from, like, how to load the dishwasher to, you know, like, how to, I don't know, wrap a gift. Like,
is it mansplaining? Or is it
the question?
No, it's fixing. It's men want to be fixers.
But then the implication there, Matt,
no, but I'm going to tell you,
is that I'm doing something wrong. And a lot of these things are objectively like, is there really a right way to do this?
No, there's
not.
not.
So why the need?
So this is like, so for me, and thinking about this, because, you know, when we were going to talk about this topic, I've been reflecting a little bit. And so I've always been a fixer. I want to make sure that you're okay. Like if a spouse and everyone, if someone's dealing with something, I want to make sure that you're okay, and I want to be as helpful as possible. However, that was me at a younger age. Coming in now, again, I've been in my relationship for 10 years too. Now when my wife and I go through different parts, if we have conflict or otherwise, or she comes to me and says that I need to talk to you, I am very clear up front. Do you want advice on something, or do you want me just to listen? Right? And so this is what I've discovered in the last few years.
Very smart.
Very smart man.
At the start of the conversation, very upfront, am I listening and you just need to vent to me about something? Or do you want my advice about something in particular, about a situation that you're dealing with? Because, again, I'm happy to give that, but I've learned that it's only, and again, only in certain places. And I'm never going to give advice on something that I don't know anything about, right? As you heard,
you should call Stephen A. Smith and talk to him. He needs your advice.
But it's just like, you know, in reference to the clip, I'm a billionaire who runs a billion-dollar business, and, you know, advising people on how to become billion-dollar businesses. That makes sense, right? I love sports. I'm a dad. I have a few areas, maybe somewhat of expertise. I'm happy to go there too.
I've never been a politician.
But if I don't know anything about it,
I feel like a lot of us like to give our thoughts about what politicians are doing. Is that an exception to the rule?
Yeah, well, listen, here's the thing about politicians, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's one thing to give advice about, like, you think if you've been married or you're not a parent and you're trying to give parental advice, P.S., don't ever do that to us. Don't ever do that. But I do think that if people in positions of governance, if you are in a very high-profile position where you make public policy that affects people's lives, you better believe you're only getting my vote if you have any credibility in that realm. If you are going to be an education minister, you better have kids, you've got to know your education system, or you've been a teacher. If you are the health minister, I hope that you are a doctor or you have a good team of doctors around you that you are advising. There are a lot of realms where your credibility in that realm comes from life experience, and that's what this comes down to. If you have no life experience in something, don't tell me squat. I don't want to hear it.
Wait.
I don't want to hear it.
Again, you need to talk to President Donald Trump because
he's making a lot of policies.
A lot of policies.
Men making policies about women's health issues.
Who don't know
anything. Not a good day. Not a good day. Listen, we just burned through that quickly. We're going to take our first break, everybody. Up next, is the secret to dating finding someone who is younger? We're going to go there because why women online, anyway, are touting the benefits of choosing a younger man. We'll be back with that right after.
Tomorrow on The Social, best-selling author Mitch Albom tells us why he's giving romance a try in his new novel. This week on The Social, The Pitch, a new documentary, reveals what it took to build Canada's first women's pro soccer league and shake up a system that sidelined women for decades.
Listen, we love having you live in studio, and if you'd like to join us here, all you have to do is scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. There she is. Thank you, Vanna White. Thank you. You have to open up your camera, scan the QR code, and that's how you can get tickets to join us live in studio. And we're having a fun time.
Calm down. Okay. Could going out with a younger man be the solution to your dating problems? According to The Cut, many women online say that younger guys are more intentional, open to commitment, and energetic. So do you agree that it's better for women to date younger? Matt, what do you think about this?
My wife is a year older than me. There's that few months in between where I joke that she's 2 years older than me, which drives her bananas a little bit. But I have always, almost always, maybe not always because I've understood, but I've almost always dated someone who is older than me. I have been very sure of myself and knowing who I am as a person from a young age. I've had a lot of confidence. I've known what I wanted to do. I've known what I wanted in life.
Is there a limit to the older? Like,
no, I think as you get
2 years isn't that old.
As you get older, the less difference it makes. I think, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
So you would date someone, I mean, if your wife wasn't in the picture, would you go 10 years older?
Yeah. Like if I'm almost 40.
20?
So
all the cougars were like, yeah.
Okay.
Happily married, happily married.
I know, I'm just saying.
And so I think like the older you get, the less that matters.
All right.
I think like, 24 and 18, if the woman is 24 and the guy is 18, that's a little bit harder. Okay. But I think that as you get into your 30s and into your 40s, then I think it matters less. And I think that, for me personally and in my experience, older women are more understanding. They're more mature, right? So you can have those intelligent conversations at different points. And I'm not trying to say that it doesn't work the other way. I think it just depends on who you meet, what circles of life you run in, where you end up in life, I think generally. But in my experience, when it is an older woman, I think they understand me a little bit better, and I've felt more seen at certain points. I can go and I can have my life, and she gets that and understands that while still having her life and not being jealous of, well, what are you doing, and what are you doing, and what are you doing when
It's interesting because I think the flip is what I think the stereotype is. The stereotype is why would a woman date younger? And it's because, as you said, maybe he's more energetic, that she feels more desired. She tends to perhaps feel like she's going to be more adventurous because he's younger. He comes with maybe less baggage a little bit. He might still be emotionally available. He hasn't been hardened by some relationships. Like, there are a lot of reasons why the stereotype says it works. I met my husband when he was 24 and I was 29. It's only 4 years, but that was a really interesting one. And I tried to shove the little cub out. I did when we started dating, because I said, there's things in 24 as a young, hot guy that I think he needed to experience. You know what I'm saying? And I tried to push him out. I literally was like, I think you still need to sow your wild oats because, at 29, I have decisions to make and I want a serious life partner. And I tried to shove that little cub out and he just kept coming back. And so here we are, 17 years married, it worked out. And I will say, but the stereotype worked. There is something that I really enjoy about the fact that he's not only younger than me, but he's not threatened by my ambition. He's one of my biggest cheerleaders, if not not my biggest cheerleader out there. So there is something to this idea of what a younger man may be able to give you that perhaps an older man cannot. So on my side, 4 years, not a big deal. It's worked out over here. It's worked out over here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with this better and worse. I think it depends on what you're looking for. If you are just coming out of a long-term relationship as a woman and maybe you had a sexless marriage, or maybe a younger guy is what you need because you need the energy that they were mentioning, and you want someone, but it's also what's your lifestyle. Are you the type of person who likes to be out at 12:30 at night on a Wednesday? Maybe the younger guy is more your speed. What exactly are you looking for? Because I think men, you have to treat them not as a monolith, but as individuals, because you can have an older guy with a younger spirit. You could also get a younger guy who has a very old man spirit. I think it just depends, and I don't like these, because if we were to flip it and we could have, can you imagine a conversation where men are like, yeah, I prefer younger women over older women because they're less baggage. We would all have our backs up against the wall. So I don't like these types of conversations. It depends. What are you looking for? What do you really want out of this relationship that you're in? Because I've done both, and I'll say this much. The younger ones and the older ones, men are all the same, but I will say this much. The younger ones is kind of like having a puppy. They're always really excited, tails wagging. They're really excited to be there, and sometimes they have little accidents, but their heart's in the right place.
Oh, really?
Let's move on.
Oh, okay.
We're out of time for that one. Matt, I'm going to switch lanes now. Like it or not, a wife wrote to Dear Prudence to ask if hugging her male coworker is cheating. Yeah. She says that...
Wow.
Wait, let me finish. Yeah. She says that they hold each other for 5 to 10 minutes a couple times a week platonically, and it's improved her relationship with her husband because she's not as needy for his affection. So the question we're asking is this cheating? I think the audience has spoken. It's
okay,
yes.
Is this cheating? Like, it depends, again, what's your definition of cheating? I think she's not cheating on her husband. I think she's cheating on herself.
What?
Okay.
Explain that.
Explain that.
Cheating on herself?
They've been married for 13 years, and she said her husband no longer gives her affection. Honey, if it's 13 years and you haven't been able to open up to your husband to say, I need more affection because I feel lonely, so you're going to try to find it in somebody else, girl, you are watering your garden, a different garden. You need to water your own garden. So you're either you're gonna woman up and you're going to talk to your husband and tell him what you need, or why are you trying to find something in someone else? You're cheating on yourself.
Because it's easier to stay in your uncomfortable situation with the house and the friends and the kids and all that stuff, and then get that little thing from over there. Because to leave that marriage for a lot of people, that's the big issue.
Relationship expert? Oh, sorry.
No, 5 to 10 minutes of hugging at a time is not platonic.
Yeah. No.
It's not platonic, right? And for me, that physical tonic, like my love language is physical touch. And so like I get the need for physical contact, but hugging for 5 to 10 minutes at a time.
Could you imagine us hugging for 5 to 10 minutes?
No, like I love hugging, and I can't even like hug my wife for 5 minutes at a time.
But our relationship expert, I'm guessing that there's an oxytocin thing happening.
Yes, there is. I mean, we do need physical touch. I'm not going to try to justify the 5 to 10 minutes is tripping me up too.
Foreplay.
It asks a lot of questions. It is foreplay, and I'm wondering like what things in your body are, being activated at that time.
You know exactly what's being activated.
But here's the question that I would have: is that like what is interesting is what you're bringing up is what kinds of conversations are we having with people, like, and what context would we be okay? So, for example, if you went to a wellness retreat and part of the assignment was to sit with a stranger and stare at them, this is a thing that people get told to do, which is very intimate. Are we okay with that? Are we? Is that cheating? What if it was? What if it was hugging with strangers in order to activate that oxytocin? Would we be okay? I think the issue in this case specifically is that it's a work colleague and that they are looking for something that their partners are not providing.
And that HR frowns upon that kind of behavior.
Maybe that is the thing. But I think a conversation is needed. Just talk to each other, people. Talk to each other and ask for what you want.
Crazy.
Well, we are going to take a break. Hey, Matt, thank you for joining the panel today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, hold on to your seats. Tyson Bookboom and Taylor Perry from Canada's women's rugby team are here next.
Welcome back. Well, Canada's women's rugby team rallied the nation as it entered the World Cup final last month, raising nearly $1 million from fans to do so. The match drew the likes of Prime Minister Mark Carney and 82,000 spectators in a sold-out stadium in England.
Wow, gives me chills. Well, despite being one of the only nations in the Cup without a professional women's league, the team defended their ranking as second in the world. So here to share their journey are players Tyson Bookboom and Taylor Perry. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, ladies. All right, so first off, congratulations to making it to the Rugby World Cup Finals again, just so people know, not your first time. But we need to talk about this $1 million crowdfund. Talk to me about how this idea came up. How did you do it? Talk to us.
Yeah, so it kind of stemmed from last World Cup. We had to do what we call soft centralization, which was essentially us paying our own way to spend more time together. So we wanted to get rid of that. We worked with Nathan, our CEO, to make sure that we could do our best to eliminate that. So basically, leadership group, Kevin, Nathan, we talked, and we just need more time together. And time equals money. And there's this narrative that Rugby Canada didn't support us. They did. It was the biggest and most funded World Cup lead up to date. So, so they supported us fully, but it wasn't as much as we needed to get to the final. So that's where the mission to win Rugby World Cup and raise that extra $1 million came in. And just for perspective, we got $2.6 million for our campaign from Rugby Canada. We raised the extra $1 million, so that put us at 3.6. And England, their lead up was they had 26 million.
Wow.
So just to put our the competition into perspective.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so then break that down for us. So where does the money go? It sounds like a lot of money, but where does it go?
This time we chose that it goes to time together, like Tyson mentioned. Our plan, if we didn't raise $1 million, was to maybe get 2 games in preparation in the full 6-month lead up to the World Cup.
So sorry, only 2 games
Was the plan.
was the plan to try to prepare for the World Cup final.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Okay.
All right, and I hate to draw comparisons, but I'm just curious, what about the funding for the men's rugby team? How are things for them?
Well, we actually had the most funding for any World Cup lead up, including men's World Cup. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Good to know.
A good question.
yeah, Rugby Canada really set a precedent with that, I think.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So take us through that now. So you know that the World Cup is coming. So how long did the team end up being able then to practice together, train together before the World Cup?
In the 6-month lead up, we ended up spending about 4 to 5 months together, and we got 7 games total with $1 million that we raised.
Like, how important is that?
It's massive. Like, we have the staff, we have the athletes in Canada, and we just decided all we need is the time now together to just bring it all together.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
So when you guys aren't playing together, where do you train?
So I was with Trailfinders Women just outside of London in the PWR, but basically because we're not contracted by our union, we don't have the funding to be fully contracted athletes. We have to go elsewhere to find those contracts. So there's a lot of us in England. There's a big group in France. There's some that go to Australia, New Zealand. We go where we can, and basically it's because we want to be the best that we can be for our team and to put us in the best position to win a World Cup and get to that final. And yeah, so we leave our country, we leave our families, we leave our friends, and we go find those contracts. And some girls, unfortunately, aren't able to do that and are still here, train on their own, and then have full-time jobs outside of rugby. So.
Wow.
So, I mean, the reason why this is happening, you have to go elsewhere, is because there is no professional women's rugby league in Canada. However, this is something that you are trying to change and bring an actual professional league to happen here in Canada so that players can stay and train and play here. This happened recently in women's soccer. Take us through how you're hoping this maybe bump in interest can maybe make it happen here. Who wants to take that?
Yeah, so for us, it's just, like we said, time is money. And to have a league, we need money, we need funding. And Kev, our coach, has done a really, really great job of kind of putting the roots down and building a program through Canada where there are domestic games happening, but it's not a domestic league. So those he's built for the girls that aren't able to go overseas and play professionally. So we have the high quality games, but to put a league into place costs money and
Yeah. So I want to get into your origin story a little bit, Tyson, because you're actually the daughter of former NHL player Jeff Bookboom of the Edmonton Oilers, if anybody is aware, and also of the New York Rangers. Yeah. You went rugby. Did you ever consider hockey?
Yeah, 12-year-old me was going to the Olympics for sure for hockey. It wasn't actually in the cards. I didn't have that type of talent, but as a kid, like, hockey was everything for me. And I didn't actually find rugby until I got into high school. And my cousin introduced me to rugby and was like, this is a sport where you're allowed to hit people without getting in trouble.
Is that what drew you to the sport? Because it's a tough sport.
Yes.
It draws most people.
Yeah. I got a lot of penalties in hockey for hitting people.
And now with rugby, no penalties?
Well, I wouldn't go that. Not for hitting people anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as I got my first game in, I was sold. I was sold for the rest of my life.
Awesome. Well, we started off with the congratulations, but there's another thing we have to talk about. Tyson became Canada's most capped rugby player in history across both men and women, meaning that you represented Canada in 84 international games. So how does it feel to set that record?
I still have such a hard time putting it into words, but it is truly an honor, and just have so much pride in being able to represent my country that many times. And it's just, at the end of the day, really cool.
It's really cool to have both of you here, and you rallied this country, and I really hope that this is the beginning of something fabulous for women's rugby.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you so much, Tyson, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we're going to take a very, very quick break, and after that, Optometrist approved makeup tips right after this. We'll be back.
Welcome back. From chronic dryness and irritation to clogged glands and even lash mites. Our next guest says your makeup bag might be doing more harm than good when it comes to your eyes.
What did you just
I know,
say?
lash mites. I just said it, yes.
She is here to set the record straight on how everyday beauty habits can impact your eye health. So please welcome board-certified optometrist and the host of the Uncover Your Eyes podcast, Dr. Minal Agrawal. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. So, Dr. Minal, we're going to kick things off where you're going to test our knowledge, specifically around our beauty routines and our eyes, with a fun game of myth or fact. We have our paddles. Audience, you guys have your paddles as well. All right, so let's get started with our first question. All right, using eyeliner on the waterline is safe. Is that fact or myth? I don't even know the answer to this.
I feel like I do it, so I hope.
See the men in the audience, they're working hard at this one.
All right, what's the correct answer?
It's a myth. So you guys got it right. It's actually unsafe to use it on your waterline. That's where we have our key oil-producing glands called our meibomian glands. And when we're blocking them, we're not allowing healthy oils to come onto our tears. So you actually want to tight line your eyeliner, which means placing it closer to your eyelashes.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so not in the waterline at all.
So I got that wrong.
Oh, God, I am failing everything today.
Fail. Yep.
Because the next one is fact or myth. This is something that in this building is called the Melissa. It's this.
I might already know about it.
You might know about this. Sleeping in your makeup is the #1 habit that makes an optometrist cringe.
I feel like that's
this has got to be fact.
That's
Come
a
on.
fact. But what's...
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Yes.
But why?
So you don't want to sleep in your makeup because that's just a breeding ground for bacteria, and bacteria thrives at nighttime, especially on dirty lashes, dirty makeup. So you're allowing access to a lot more infections, inflammation, and styes.
All right, quick question. I'm looking at Melissa. So is that going to make you stop wearing your makeup at night?
I didn't hear that.
I mean, listen, I don't feel like you do it every night. You only do it on special occasions.
It's happening
right? It's not
a lot more lately.
All right, okay. So let's go on to this one. Any type of eye makeup remover is safe for use as long as the makeup is fully removed. Is that myth or fact? Any type of makeup remover.
Myth, right?
I feel like there's some sketchy ones out there.
It's a myth.
Yeah. Okay, so what are the best ones?
So you want to stay away from oil-based makeup removers.
But that's the best best one?
So they're great for removing harsh chemical makeup, but you want to stay away from that oil because oil clog oil glands. So it's just building oil on top of your glands, blocking them. You also want to stay away from makeup removers with harsh alcohols and harsh preservatives. So something as simpler as a micellar water or baby shampoo, even for those light makeup days, is great.
Okay, that's good. I thought you were going to say something different. I'm like, don't
Okay.
not
What did you
micellar
think I was
water.
gonna say?
Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right, so let's go on to our next one. Regular use of lash extensions is harmless. What do we think? Is that
Regular
fact
use of it.
or regular is harmless?
Oh, regular use. Regular use is harmless.
Yes.
That's
I know,
a myth.
it's kind of confusing.
Okay,
Regular use of lash extensions
okay.
is harmless.
It's a myth. You guys did good.
Okay, good.
Not me.
So you want to have those break periods where your lashes, the follicles can rest, recover, restore, repair. And if you're just constantly using lash extensions, you're causing very brittle and lashes that can break easily. And also, if you're gonna do them, I'm not opposed to it, but do it with a licensed technician and try to stick to formaldehyde-free adhesive. That is key. That causes a lot of reactions.
There's formaldehyde in the adhesive?
Many adhesives,
Oh,
yes.
wow. So you can just ask your technician.
Yes, ask what glue or adhesive they're using.
Okay.
Formaldehyde-free.
Free, without it.
Okay, got it. All right, next one. Guys, I'm 0 for 5. Neutral pigmented eye makeup in shades like beige, taupe, and brown are safest for the eyes. Fact or myth?
That sounds like
I don't know.
nonsense. That's myth, right?
It's a fact. Yeah.
Okay, break that down.
I know, I'm gonna break it down for you now.
Break that down.
So dark shades like reds, purples, they actually have a lot of synthetic dyes, like the red dyes in them.
Okay.
Pigments like the blues and the greens, they can have heavy metals in them.
Okay.
So I know the beauty industry regulates this amount and it's very trace, but it can cause a lot of irritation, reactions, red patches on people's skin, especially those with sensitivities. And I want to touch on black because black is a very interesting shade because it's neutral.
Yeah.
But a lot of makeup with black has a compound called carbon black, and that's made by burning petroleum.
Whoa.
Yes. So again, beauty industry regulates this. It's trace amounts, but a lot of people get reactions to their black mascaras, their black eyeliners because of this compound. So try choosing better makeup products, and for those of you with sensitivities, pick something free of these harmful
So what you're
chemicals.
saying is my eye is covered in burnt petroleum.
Basically.
All right.
So is mine, don't worry.
Good to know. Good to know.
Okay, so we want to get through a few more of these. Fact or myth, you should be replacing your eyeliner pencils as often as your mascara.
Oh, I feel like that should be fact,
probably
right?
fact.
Is it fact?
It's a myth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So anything that you can sharpen or that's a powder, right? You're getting rid of the bacteria or you're using it with your brush, you can keep for 1 to 2 years.
Oh,
Good. That's some good news. Okay, we want to get this
But
last.
anything that's a liquid, so your eyeliners, your mascara, breeds bacteria because it's liquid. So you want to dispose of that every 3 to 6 months.
Okay, good to know. All right, so this next one's gonna be a big one. Everyone has lash mites living on their lashes. Is that fact or myth? I know.
I really want it to be a myth.
I know, but this is fact or myth?
This is fact. You all have it.
We also have burnt petroleum on our eyes, so.
Yes. You all have it. So these live in our oil glands and our lash or hair follicles, so they're normal. However, they breed, and they breed in dirty environments. When you wear your makeup at night, or you have those lash extensions.
This huge shot behind us with this giant mic. Okay.
Jillian, our director, please get rid of the lash mic.
Gosh.
This is haunting.
Okay, so they're there anyway, and they just are made, they breed more
They
in
breed more in
gross
dirty
okay,
environments,
fine.
but they also transfer from your pillow. So if you're sleeping with makeup and then your child goes and lies on that same pillow, you are transferring it.
And what can these mites do, though? Are they just innocently hanging out there? They're just
Well,
chilling?
if they breed and they got a lot more of them, you are irritating your skin, you're causing inflammation, and eventually what we see as eye doctors is we will see something called the pink eyeliner sign, where your eyeliner, where you would normally not put it on your waterline, we'll start seeing it get reddish or pinkish because it's so inflamed and irritated. And the end stage is your lid or lash line starts to turn downward.
Okay,
all right.
last question.
Aesthetically, don't.
Before you go, explain how an optometrist advises we remove our makeup daily. Walk us through the process. We don't have a lot of time, so how do we properly remove our makeup?
So you just take a cotton pad, you soak it with micellar water or whatever product you're using, soak it quite a bit, and then you place that pad on your eyelashes and your eyelid, let it soak for 10 to 20 seconds. So leave it there first. And then wipe downwards, because so many of us are going like this. We're causing a lot of lash follicle breakage. So you want to stroke downwards, and you'd be surprised, it actually comes off much easier than going like this.
Okay. Oh my gosh, we learned so much today, right? Oh my goodness. The dust mites are burned into my brain. All right, Dr. Manal, thank you so much for that very important information. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back. I literally want to go like this. Welcome back. For more than 70 years, Heart and Stroke has led the fight to beat heart disease and stroke by raising funds to support groundbreaking, life-saving research. Hundreds of thousands of Canadians have benefited from this work, but most will never know the name of the researchers behind the advancement that has saved their lives up until now.
Well, thanks to a new Heart and Stroke campaign that celebrates those unsung heroes, researchers are finally being recognized for their profound impact on people's lives. Take a look.
Hi, Dr. West.
Yes.
I'm Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I'll be interviewing you today.
Excellent. Find a donor for a baby.
Actually, Dr. West, your work saved my daughter's life 8 years ago.
What?
Natalie.
I'm so happy to meet you.
And now she's going to school, she's going to dance class.
We get to watch her grow up.
Thank you for giving people like us a second chance at life.
Oh, this is really just...
Why am I already crying?
I know.
Joining us now are some familiar faces from that campaign. Please welcome pediatric cardiologist and heart transplant researcher Dr. Lori West, heart transplant recipient Natalie Gillies, and her mother, Michelle. Welcome, all of you.
Good to have you guys here. That was a beautiful moment.
Oh my God, I didn't know that I would need Kleenex. Dr. West, thanks to Heart and Stroke Funding, you made a discovery 30 years ago that literally changed people's lives. You showed that babies do not need to have the same blood type as an organ donor to successfully receive a heart transplant. How did you make that discovery?
Well, we began to understand from the purposes of transplantation the differences in ABO blood groups and their relevance to transplantation from the point of view of babies. And that hadn't been done before. And it's all about the antibodies that we all make against different blood groups. In an adult, if you did that, you would have catastrophic consequences right in the operating room. But babies don't make those antibodies. And that's what the discovery was all about, was that gives us a window of time where we can find donor hearts, we can expand the donor pool for babies who are the most compelling because they're little and it's harder to find organs for them.
Interesting.
Anyway.
That's fascinating. And I understand that, Dr. West, you explained your theory and the science behind it to a family whose son needed a heart transplant after birth. And they agreed to participate in the first ever heart transplant ever from a donor with a different blood type. Wow. Thankfully, your hypothesis was correct, and the baby boy is now a man, which is fantastic. Did you ever have a sense at any time just how many lives you would have saved with this research?
In the beginning, I knew that the science was sound and we anticipated that this would have a big impact on our own patients, and it did. I mean, very quickly, the number of children who very sadly died waiting for a heart plummeted. But what I don't think any of us realized was the global impact that it would have, because it's now done, this protocol is now routinely done around the world, and so it's changed pediatric heart transplantation for many others as well.
Wow.
That's right, that's great. Speaking of, your daughter, Natalie, is a heart and stroke recipient. So what impact has a heart and stroke and Dr. West had on your life?
So Natalie was born with hypoplastic left heart syndrome. Okay. So she was getting too much blood to her lungs and not enough to her body, so she was blue. She was a really blue baby. So she went into cardiac arrest at 2 days old. and it damaged the heart, so our only option was a heart transplant. And there's not many viable hearts, but Dr. West's discovery made more hearts available, and it gave us so much hope.
And you know, with an expanded donor pool, even with that, it still took 5 months to find a donor and to find a match. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it was touch and go. She was on life support for 7 days, and then her chest was open for 14 days. We couldn't even hold her because her chest was open.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was life and death. If she didn't have her heart transplant, she wouldn't be with us today.
Unbelievable. Natalie, how is your heart today?
Good. It helps me playing it. I still go for a lot of checkups, but I feel fine and I'm grateful.
Oh, good stuff.
So happy. Okay, maybe it's just mom hormones because I'm just getting really choked up by all of this. Anyway, Dr. West, thanks to the Heart and Stroke, Natalie, Michelle, and so many other people in their position have been impacted by your work. And they showed up in that cafe to say thank you to you for all of your work. Obviously, it was a surprise, but when you realized what was happening, how did that make you feel?
Well, it was an overwhelming surprise, and I'm hard to surprise. So I didn't expect it at all, but it was deeply moving. It's never before in my career has there been an opportunity to see people whose young lives, families, whose children are there because of research that happened in this process that evolves in this long, tedious process of research. And it was really moving,
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. And I know, Natalie, you were able to participate in that big surprise for Dr. West, but is there anything else that you would like to say to her?
Yeah, so Dr. West is like a celebrity to me. So I wasn't able to say my thank you because I had words that they told me to say, so here it is. Thank you for giving Natalie a second chance at life. Because of your groundbreaking work, she's here with us today. Your legacy lives on in every heartbeat she takes, and we're forever grateful.
Nice of you.
All right, that was wonderful. And Dr. West, I know you continue to make research discoveries thanks to Heart and Stroke funding, and I understand that you recently made another very important one. What is it?
Well, we've created a new test to measure these antibodies that I talked about. A brand new test. The one that's currently used now is more than a century old.
Oh.
And so we have embarked on creating a new test that will allow us to expand this kind of transplant, ABO blood group mismatched transplants, beyond infancy and to other organs as well, such as kidneys and lungs and so on. So we're very excited about bringing that new tool out there to help more patients.
Yeah, that's exciting news.
Phenomenal.
Thanks to the Heart and Stroke Foundation funding for ongoing research.
Absolutely. Dr. West, thank you so much for the absolutely incredible work that you do, and it's happening right here in Canada. So thank you very, very much for your work. And all the researchers on this. Natalie, thank you for joining us. We're so happy you're here. And Mom Michelle, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. We want to remind you, you can help support this kind of life-saving research to beat heart disease and stroke by donating at heartandstroke.ca. That's heartandstroke.ca. I need a break and a tissue. We'll be back right after this.
That was fantastic.
Oh my God. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so next time on the show, sweet fall desserts made without pumpkin spice. I thought it was whipped. No, without pumpkin spice. Are you pumpkin spice fans?
Yes. Love, but I'm happy to try things without it as well. I don't want to dog on it. I appreciate it.
I'm going to dog on it. Don't like it. So tomorrow.
It's nutmeg and like cinnamon. It's all good.
Okay, that's true. Okay, fine.
Okay,
I'm humbug. Anyway, also tomorrow, hold on to your seats because best-selling author Mitch Albom is back on the show to chat about his brand new book, Twice, his first romance ever. Thank you so much. What an important show. Thank you all for being here, truly. We just love you. See you tomorrow, everybody. Take care.